The Jester Radio Podcast.
What's happening, guys? Welcome to Jester Radio. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yes. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Well, I'm Daniel Gibbard, co-owner of Nutricon.
Wesley Robertson, co-owner of Nutricon.
And Nutricon, locally owned, locally manufactured, a local brand.
100%, yeah. 100%. Yeah, the look and the feel of the brand, obviously we've come a long way on that from where we started. We actually got a lot of comments about a lot of purple, but we listen to our consumer and we change as we go.
Okay, and I mean that's also what I don't think a lot of brands do that. A lot of brands might not be open to listening to the consumer because they feel they know more. And I mean, is that why you changed all the colors? Because did people say they didn't like it, or?
Yeah, from a couple of the retailers, we got a bit of feedback yeah. And they just said the purple was a bit too much, and it was school fees at the end of the day.
Yeah,
you know, we new to this, so we learn as we go.
Yeah.
And how has it been in South Africa? You know, having to learn as you go. Because I mean, I assume in South Africa must be more difficult than overseas.
Definitely. I mean, if you see at a Mr. Olympia or at Body Power or a UK event, you see how many supplement brands are there, and it is astonishing to know how these supplement brands in those countries actually support each other.
Yeah.
And not trying to break each other down. That's the nice thing. That's how we're viewing it, and that's part of our school fees, because in South Africa there's not the same.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the same.
Well, I mean, I'm sponsored by Extreme Nutrition, and I've got another company on that is not sold at Extreme Nutrition. So I think local support needs to happen, and it needs to, I think in terms of growth in the industry in general, it needs to happen.
Yeah. Well, the main reason why we're not in retailers and why we decided not to go into retailers is the price points. It's literally the price points. Walking into a retailer starts at, they want 80% margin. And for us, our view and our seeing about Nutricon, the brand from the start, was to give the South African market a premium brand, but still competing with the local prices and not charge international prices. And I think that's one of the things that we achieved quite good. And reason for that is we just don't have the margin. To go into a discount that was 100 to 120% margin.
Yeah.
Some of our products, cost for us, some of our competitors are selling less than that into the retailers. So, I mean, you need to ask yourself what's in that product. Is there anything in that product? So yeah, literally we're international brand. Everything is imported that's put in our products. It's just locally blended. So yeah, our seeing was to bring in an international quality brand, but charging local prices.
But then how do you go about, and is there not, a board that kind of looks at these companies and looks at these supplements and like, this isn't what you're claiming on the label is not right?
No, there's no regulation here in South Africa like that. Overseas, yes, there is, but nothing here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, you can amino spike. You can, if you really test a protein that's been amino spiked, the amino shows as protein. But it's not. It's for us. I mean, our way that we've got now, it's still a blend, but it's 85% iso whey, and that's pure iso whey. It's not a claim on the label. That's what's in the product.
Yeah.
And the rest is whey protein concentrate. There's no aminos in. There's no spiking. Nothing. Initially, when we started as well, I said, listen, I like a brand that I can use myself. I'm relatively new to the bodybuilding industry, and it's quality. Overseas, if you go overseas and you compete, you can't really compete. And the reason for that is obviously it's quality of what they have.
Yeah. What is the biggest issue or the biggest hurdle that you guys have experienced, starting up your own supplement company?
Yeah, I think it basically the manufacturing point of view. There's not many people around that can actually do this. There's 3 or 4 companies, and yeah, it's been a fight to try and get the right mix and you know, and the right flow and the right costings and the right, everything basically. It's a pity. I mean, there's 2 or 3 companies that you can actually go to and rely on, and then that's it.
And I assume, obviously, then if there's 2 or 3 companies, most of the local people kind of need to have to and go to the same people.
Exactly.
100%.
Most of our stuff is all done together. So, that's the way it is.
Yeah. And why, going back, why did you guys start this company? Obviously, you got a passion for the industry and the sport.
Yeah, look, company was started for someone, with someone that didn't in the industry really wanted to do the hard work and put in the mileage. It was too comfortable. So yeah, I started it for someone, and when that someone pulled out, I was already far into it, and I was already vested and invested.
But that was quite recent, the pulling out.
No. It was way in the beginning phase before you even had product on the shelves.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we had the vision of having a brand that's premium in the country, and we sticking to that, and we're basically the first commercial sold product in the country that's got full disclosure on our labels.
And the issue is, no one's going to know that you are actually being honest compared to someone else, because there's no board that's checking.
Yeah.
So how do you, obviously I think the biggest way to establish yourself in the industry is maybe aligning yourself with the correct athletes, making sure that when, customer service, because I mean, how would you differentiate yourself from someone else that's claiming all these things on their labels, and maybe even, lying and saying they got even more than you guys, but you don't want to lie, and you don't want to obviously, ruin your name by lying just to be competitive.
Yeah, we can look at as well. We're looking into just every batch of line that we do, we can get a certificate done on the third party. We can put that in a certificate and post about it. Every batch that comes out is...
I mean, one of the biggest problems for us is to actually educate the South African industry, and not just the industry, but because we see ourselves as a lifestyle brand. It's not a hardcore training brand or gym brand. It's a lifestyle brand. So this is for people that's really aware of what they're putting into their bodies, that's want to really be healthy, not just... I mean, a lot of people just... If you know the amount of sugars that's in some of the whey proteins, it's...
And then they claim that there's none.
Yeah, they claim there's none, but it's the sugar content on that stuff is so high. Then you get someone that's a diabetic that uses this that doesn't know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a fight we won't win, is the regulating of claims on labels in the country.
Remember, South Africa is a very price sensitive country, so people mostly buy on price and not on quality. We're just trying to show the guys that with our pricing, you still buy decent quality stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally had store owners, chain owners, big chain owners, saying to us, "It's all good and well. I know you guys are the best products on my shelves, but if a customer walks in here, I'm going to direct them to something else, because that pays my bills, because I get more margin of that." And I mean, that's the mentality. The retailers don't really care. They just want to make their money.
Yeah. So what have you guys done now to obviously circumvent having to go through retailers?
Well, for the moment being, we decided just to be online. We're not willing to compromise our quality to push quantities. It's something we stand very, very firm on. We will not do that. I mean, I can't in good conscience sell these products to my friends, saying to them it's a good quality product just to make margin.
Yeah.
So yeah, we literally that's the reason why we're not in any retailers. We can't give them the margins, and we're not willing to compromise on our product.
And then just touch on that. It's since we've done that and gone only online, we've had quite a few inquiries now coming through asking to be in stores. So it's nice to keep the brand exclusive at the moment, and you can't just get it anywhere. And I think it's drawing quite a bit of attention to that.
Yeah. And in terms of being online, how is it difficult with distribution? Does it add extra costs? Obviously, because you might be sending one product out in this part of the world, a product out that part of the world. Like, how do you manage distribution?
Yeah, well, Wesley's in charge of that.
Myself.
Okay.
So myself and Carl, yeah, we handle that type of thing, but it's straightforward. We got a decent courier company that lets customers know when the parcel has been picked up and left and delivered. So yeah, it's pretty simple. You go in the morning, pack your orders, and you send them out.
Okay. And you guys, you've sponsored a show, if I remember correctly.
Quite a couple of shows. In the beginning, it was part of our marketing as well, to gain credibility in the industry, to make sure and to show the South African market that we're not just here as a fly-by-night, we're here to stay. We're willing to put some cash behind it, because we believe in it. We just need more people to believe in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was nothing. There was no bad blood between us. It was literally, for us, it was definitely marketing, and to see the look and feel of the brand outside of just the warehouse and all of that. So it was good for us. It was definitely.
Is that the best marketing you've done? Was that the best way? And money that you put in towards marketing in terms of return?
Well, there was no return.
Okay.
There was no return. It wasn't. It's sponsors usually, I think 90% of the time don't bring in any returns. It's just
it's long-term potential returns.
It's a cost investment that you make, and it's something that you shouldn't actually really expect return on. And I think that's the problem in the industry as well. So many athletes brand hopping, and so many brands just signing on new people left, right, and centre, because they're expecting a return of these athletes, and I don't have the same view. If you have an athlete, or you have an influencer, or you have someone, that's just someone that needs to present your brand in a nice manner every now and then, where people can see they use it. It's not something that you really should expect them, unless you have an associate that's got an agreement that's going to sell your product for a commission. And that's how it works overseas, and that's why these guys and everyone helps each other out there. You'll rarely see anyone overseas brand hopping. Anyone.
Yeah.
Brands stick to the athletes, and the athletes stick to the brand.
Yeah, that's also everybody, and you guys obviously would be nice voices to talk to. Everyone wants to know, how do I get sponsors? How do I find a sponsor? And I think that's the biggest issue, is people asking those questions. It should be a company going to the person and be like, you fit our model, we want to sponsor you. So, I mean, I'm sure you guys on the Instagram page get tons of messages, sponsor us.
Plenty. Last night we had a chap sending us, I think, 30 or 40 photos. And that's one or 4 or 5 a day that are wanting sponsorship. But it's not just being sponsorship at the moment. For us, we don't really look at someone's following. We don't, if just what you said now, if they fit the brand, and if they fit what we feel is nice, then that's people that we look at. We don't really look at the following. It's, for us, really being a lifestyle brand. In the beginning, we did make a bit of a mistake, just trying to sign on hardcore athletes. But saying that, the hardcore athletes that really wants to make it in the industry start seeing that this is quality, and they want to be part of it.
Yeah.
So we've got both sides wanting to be part of it.
Well, speaking of athletes, I saw you guys did it was a full day of arm training for Cebu.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw you still had a full beard in that video.
Yeah.
So what was that about? Because obviously you still need to release the full video.
Yeah, we're busy doing teasers at the moment, and we're going to release it in stages.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a full 8 hour of
It's like the
Armageddon.
yeah. What's his name that did it on his YouTube channel? It was Rich Piana.
Rich Piana.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There was on the video you'll see. I don't know the history behind it, but it was another chap, I think, from Germany.
Yeah, I don't know.
That Jack said.
Jack, yeah.
That did it. And then Rich Piana took it, and in Jack's words, I think he watered it down to an 8 hour, because it used to be a full day, not just an 8 hour. And we with Jack, he tried to simulate that, and I mean, Cebu got the gains. It was a strenuous exercise.
Did any of you participate in that?
We just did half a session. We had
Half a session, so 4 hours.
No.
Okay.
Just the morning.
Okay.
Well, one session of the 5 or 6 that he had.
Okay.
We had some other things we had to go to the afternoon. So we just went there. And in a way, I'm actually glad I didn't do it.
No, I don't think I could do an 8-hour arm workout.
But we'd still. I'd like to do the leg, because Jack's got legs, back. He's working out.
Okay. For a full day of training legs.
Full day legs, full day back, full day chest, full day shoulders.
Yeah.
So he's working. He's bringing this out, and so I mean, I think it's very good to, if you have a lacking part in your body that you feel you're lacking, to
try it out there.
Try it out.
Yeah. And for you guys, because obviously you say you were relatively new in the industry when you started, with the brand, and obviously Wes, you've been in the industry for quite a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to give a short, maybe because people don't know, I assume, if they follow the brand, they see Nutricon, they might not know your personal stories and your personal journeys. So, I mean, how did you get started in the industry?
Sure, I don't know. I suppose it was around your time as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Just it's always been a passion of mine. Always admired it, always liked the dedication, always, loved the training. So, I guess it was just a matter of, I actually walked into Jar Nutrition and spoke to Yaki the Brain.
That was at Brightwater of the day,
And he asked me, sure, why don't you compete? And I thought, okay, well, let's try. And then, and that was it. And stood on stage the following year.
Okay. Yeah. And I mean, how many shows have you done now?
Oh, I don't know.
Tons.
Sure. I don't know.
It's been almost every single year since you started.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you're focusing on different things.
Yes.
Focusing on business, family.
That's it.
And I mean, you've already got a family.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Two boys, 5 and 7, Franco Benjamin. So when I started, I already had both of them.
Okay. When was that?
About 4 years ago. I literally, one morning I was tying my shoelaces and I had to come up for breath in between.
Yeah.
And I said, no, enough is enough. I was 128 kilograms. Didn't really have a big book pains or anything, but enough was enough. And so I did my first show the year Rossi passed away. So that was my first show. I looked like a scarecrow. But and then my next show was 2 months after that. Did a WBFF show. Had a couple of coaches in my time, but I really like it. It's something that for me it's a lifestyle. It's not something that you want to get frustrated if you can't train, get frustrated if you can't diet. Last year I had a big year of traveling. It was from India, Dubai, Europe, just traveled all over Angola, up in Africa. So it was frustrated for me. Managed to do one show last year, June, PCA.
Titans.
Yeah, Titans.
That's just one of the ones you sponsored,
Yes.
That was the last show we sponsored.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, so I managed to do one show last year, and that was it. So I've been a bit frustrated with myself since then, but life happens as well.
Yeah.
So I'm at the moment I'm trying to find that happy medium. There is a happy medium. A lot of people find it. I just need to find it myself. That happy medium between a 10 and a 12% body fat and being happy with yourself like that.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing for me, getting on stage the first time, and 2-3 weeks after looking at myself, I was terrified. It's a big mental thing for someone to get over. Looking at old photos and looking at yourself now, you don't even want to look at yourself in the mirror.
No, of course.
But it's something that you need to make peace with. It's going to happen. You can't look like that all year round.
Yeah.
You can't be in comp. It's, first of all, it's very unhealthy. And I think that's for people coming into the industry and trying to compete. No one tells them the unhealthy part of it. No one tells them the last 2-3 weeks how unhealthy it really is. My thinking is to get to that 10%, which is just before that last
unhealthy
3 weeks,
stage,
that unhealthy stage, and maintain that, because that's very easy to get to that stage. It's easy.
Yeah, and in formulations of you guys' products, because obviously, yourselves having competed, there's certain times where you can't take supplements, you can't take this, you can't take that. You've obviously, I assume, make these products and have formulated the compounds in the products so that you can take it up until closer to the show. There's not things that are going to negatively affect your body
100%.
going up to the show.
100%.
And that's obviously something, because and that's also you in the industry and you've done and experienced everything in the industry. It's nice to have that first-hand experience with some of these companies. Maybe no one, it's just scientists making stuff, and they haven't lived and experienced the questions and the issues that you might have prepping for shows.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's, just some of the fillers that get used in a whey protein, a lot of guys use up until show. Some of those fillers and some of the add-on things that they use for flavoring and all of that, there's so many carbs in that. You think you're on a decarb and you just...
Not.
So yeah, part of that is incorporated in our formulations. Our slogan is developed by athletes for everyone. That's literally what it is. It's a lifestyle brand. It's a wide spectrum of thinking that went into this, not just for hardcore trainers and for people competing, but for anyone can use it.
How have you tried to establish yourself in terms of marketing to show that you're not just this hardcore brand, you're not like a brand that just is for bodybuilders? Like, how do you, obviously it's the athletes that you sponsor, but also the videos you put out, how have you tried to focus to show everyone? Has it been something like that you actively show, or is it just because of your labeling and everything like that?
Yeah, look, our labeling, there's a lot of guys in South Africa that's labeling is on par as well. That's very clean, that looks clinical, so that's part of it. At the moment we have a struggle because we're not in the retailers. We've had 2 record months in a row. We're going on for our 3rd one. So the online store's picking up, and I believe that the consumer are really starting to see. So the marketing that we have done is definitely working. It's people are seeing it. I still believe we can do a lot more, but again, we're not willing to compromise on our quality. And
don't think we want to force the brand in a way. It's going to take its path. You know what I mean? Just let it go and let it grow without forcing it in a direction.
Yeah, and I mean, you obviously being in distribution and focusing in that department, obviously I assume being in Gauteng, that is your main distributed area. Yes. But obviously you're trying to break out into other provinces.
Yeah, no, Cape Town's been busy, and now we've got we've got quite a bit of interest from Durban side.
Okay.
So, yeah, which is nice.
And so because you want to be a nationwide company.
100%.
Exactly.
100%. Yeah, look, the restrictions that we have on marketing is unfortunately the lack of knowledge of the consumer in the country. I mean, we've had people literally telling us, listen, there's whey proteins out there, it's better to have a Milo after training, there's more nutrients in that. People just saying, I don't care because it tastes good.
Yeah.
That's really, it's uneducated. And because there's no regulation of labeling and what's being put in the products, people just think it's kosher and it's good.
Yeah, that's it's a struggle, and so because you don't want to slate anyone else, and you don't want to bad talk anyone else, because I mean,
no, we'll never do that.
Yeah,
it's not our style.
That's why also the quality that you put out there kind of just has to speak for itself. Yeah, you guys have now partnering with Sibu. How have you because obviously he is a bodybuilder, but he is going to bring in a lot of clients because obviously people say, okay, your Sibu is massive, he's done this, he takes in this and this and this before training, after training, whatever. How important is it to, have the correct athlete? Because, you need to have someone that when they're not on social media is the same person as when they're on social media. So how have you gone about establishing, the correct athletes that you have aligned yourselves with?
Well, again, I think as a brand, we don't rely on our athletes to build the brand for us. So we don't expect them to build the brand. We do expect them to do some posts for us, especially someone of Sibu's caliber. He's a signed athlete. It's not just an influencer or ambassador. But yeah, it's a good reflection for me. And again, I just see it as giving the brand credibility. Someone of Sibu's caliber that's willing to use a brand that he believes in. Competing on a world stage, probably at the moment the best bodybuilder in the country, in my opinion, as opposed to where he can go and his career in front of him. It's just someone like him believing in the brand, and then it's just hoping to hope that the rest of the country see that someone like Sibu believes in the brand, then they can believe in it too. So it's not that we're trying to use our athletes and abuse them as marketers for us. It's the people that we have really believe in the brand themselves. They know where we come from. They've been there from the start, even before we even had product. They've been with us. So and they've seen it grow. They've seen the quality go up. I honestly believe it's just with them. They're sticking with the brand because they believe in it the same way we do.
Well, in terms of quality, have you ever got samples from the manufacturers, and sometimes you try it, you're like, no, this is awful. Because obviously you want to release the best product, so you get products and you're like, no, this is terrible.
Plenty times.
We've actually got samples to taste today.
And I mean, that must be fun as well, getting these flavors, trying new flavors. I'm sure you get flavors that just don't work, some flavors that do work.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes I have a preference, Wes got a preference, some of the other people's got preference. So it's like I say, when we get flavorings before we edit the rebrand, we send all the samples to our athletes and ask them to choose, to give us just with numbers on, and they chose, and that's how we sat around the table and we chose the flavors. It was not just us sitting, I like this and Wes like that, and we're going to choose this.
Yeah. I'm sure also you kind of watch the market, because people went through a stage where cheesecake was the best flavor. Then people go through this and that. And I mean, in terms of your guys' sales, what is the product? Is it whey protein that sells the best? Because most people, when they buy a supplement, it's usually whey protein. So is there a particular product that outshines the rest?
Yeah, at the moment, obviously the wheys are those are going quite quickly. And it's a bit of a stable at the moment. But the next one on the list has been the ZMAs.
Okay.
Yeah.
ZMAs, and there's a big influx in the pre-workout. It is, I know it's our product, but it's the best pre-workout I've ever used. It takes a little bit longer to kick in. It's not high in stimulants. It takes a little bit longer and when you feel it, but then it's.
That's the thing about a pre-workout.
Really good.
Most people use a high stim pre-workout, and all they feel is that buzz, and then it ends off. For our pre-workout, it's completely different. It's not a high stim base, so it's a gradual uplift and then a gradual drop.
Yeah, because I've had many pre-workouts that, I take it and 5 seconds later I'm rushing. I want to rip my ears off. They're on fire, and I literally, it's awful because you don't get into the session properly because you're just focusing on that. And maybe it's increased blood flow, but sometimes increased blood flow to the point where your ears are, you want to rip you just want to jump in a pool or get in a cold shower. Then you kind of need to find that balance, and I'm sure that's what you've done is playing around.
Yeah, look, for me, usually when I take any other pre-workouts, I take it no earlier than half an hour before training. And it's with ours now, I find that for myself, I take it about 40 minutes. I start sipping it, and then once I start training, it's already in, and focus is insane. It's really.
And how have you gone about formulating all these compounds?
Well, it's been myself and Jack basically. I approached Jack and asked if he could assist, and with Jack's knowledge in the industry, I think
Yeah.
He's quite clued up on this type of thing. So Jack has helped a lot out on the formulation, and what's nice is we putting out turnkey solution products, so you don't have to buy 5 products to do one thing. It's all going to be in one.
Okay. And how that's obviously very important, because you don't want to. It's not just about money at the end of the day. It's not just about forcing people to buy, this pre-workout that has to have this, then you have to add this, and you have to add that. And I mean, sometimes it's not cost effective, and then people end up not doing it anyway, because no one's going to spend 2,000 Rand, especially a lifestyle person. It's not going to spend 2,000 Rand for 2 weeks worth of products.
100%.
That's another reason why we took the beta-alanine out of the pre-workout. I mean, it's still in there, but minimal. It's only 1,500 per serving, but we manufactured beta-alanine on its own, so if someone is hardcore and wants that tingly feeling, they can add it to the pre-workout.
Is that a powder or tablet?
Tablet.
Okay. Yeah. And what would you say the difference is? Obviously, is it slower releasing when it's a tablet, or is it? Why would you? So, because some people have it in tablets, some people have it in powder.
Takes about half an hour to 25 minutes to
okay.
half an hour.
20
to
minutes, yeah.
45.
And then in doing that, you can put more into.
Well, exactly, your pre.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can put more. You can add. You can take 2 or 3 tablets.
I take 6 tablets.
Okay. And what's a serving size?
Serving size is
3 to 6.
3 to 6. Sure.
I take 6 and 2 scoops of pre-workout.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're probably getting about 6,000 to 8,000.
Sure.
And I don't really buzz. My ears aren't itching.
You see, that's also,
also
it's the
really-
balance where you get the energy, but you don't get the sensation of wanting to rip your skin off.
Yeah, but see, everyone's different.
Yeah.
Everyone's different. That's why we took it out, because some people didn't feel it at all, and some people were rushing.
Yeah.
So that's why we took it out. And you can choose yourself how much of a buzz you want.
And did you take that out just because of consensus of people coming to you and maybe saying things?
100%. Yeah.
What was it?
And obviously, you in growing your brand, that's obviously fundamental. Is to, as you said, listen to your audience essentially.
Yeah, 100%. Well, for us, it's part of the foundation of the brand is listening to the audience and to not cheat our clients.
Yeah.
And by that saying, lying on the labels, that's the biggest part of it, and providing them a quality supplement.
Yeah. Well, what's next for you guys? That we're allowed to know of.
Oh, he's already giving you guys a teaser of some of the new supplements that's being released. It's tablet forms, but it does the same as taking 5 or 6 different tablets or types of tablets, and you stand with a handful of tablets every morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, we
And what is that? You're not allowed to say.
It'll come.
Okay, it'll come.
It's coming. Yeah, no, it's just makes things easier for you. It's multivitamins and a lot of things included.
Okay.
That usually you have to buy 3-4 different types of brands or type of tablets,
Yeah.
which you'll be just able to take in one serving.
Okay. And when will this video be releasing with Sibu?
No.
Is there a date yet?
You have to ask Jack and Sibs.
Okay.
They still need to finish up a few things.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on, and I really appreciate it. And I will tag both of you and Nutricon and everything in the description below. And thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course, guys, and thank you very much for you guys for listening.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks. Bye.